Alright then, welcome to this next enthralling installment of Dexter's Advent Calendar, or as I like to call these little episodes, watching a man edit a photo while trying to synchronize video, audio and a screen recording. And all without the aid of a safety net. I know, it's quite remarkable really, isn't it? Right then, what we're going to do today is I've lost it now. Oh yeah, there it is. What we're going to do today is process one of the images I shot in the Freewell Filters review video. Excuse me, this cough and cold is just lingering. We're going to process one of those images. It's not one of the ones that I shot for like the comparison and process, but I shot it later when the light was really fading somewhat. Anyway, what I'll do, I'll start up a screen recording now. I'll start recording my screen now, so you can see the image in question. And it's this one here, a really exciting image of some rocks, a dull sky. But what I really liked about this image was the pattern that the waves created around. It's almost like a smoky question mark. If you look at that, isn't it? Can you see that? Or was it just me? I don't know. The image was deliberately underexposed by a stop because I wanted, if you get in here, I wanted a shutter speed of around 2 seconds, which with the 3-stop filter attached. Well, because of the light conditions, I needed the 3 stops, put it that way then, not anymore, like stopping power. If I'd exposed this properly, it would have gone up to like a 5-second exposure, and I think that would have been too long for what I was trying to capture here. Right, what we'll do now then is we will hop into to this image, and I'll develop it before your very eyes. Right then, what we're going to do first is straighten this wonky horizon. It's only a little bit off, but this just goes to show you can't really trust your camera's level, because my camera was telling me that this was bob on plumb level, and it's not. But what I'd like to do is I'll straighten it like that now, and then zoom into the image and go to the very top, and then see it's still a little bit off there. Go back in, angle again. Let's see if that's made it any better. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. That's close enough for jazz. Oh, don't talk about music anymore. Dear God, no. Right then, what I'll do first off is deal with the sky. So we'll use the skies. We will use Lightroom's masking feature. I'll create a new mask for over the sky, and then intersect that with a linear gradient, so you don't need affecting the whole sky. You want a nice sort of fade. That's level enough for this video. If I were like printing this image off, or putting it on, well, the one you may have seen on Instagram today, that is perfectly plumb. Right, take the exposure down by a stop. I will then increase the whites a little, increase the black point a little, warm it up a touch. There we go, that's quite nice already, looking quite nice. And then add some clarity, some texture, or quite a lot of clarity and texture. Let's try the dehaze. Oh, maybe a little bit of dehazing, the dehaze tool. Not too much though. Right, okay, so that's dealt with the sky. I'm quite happy with that. Now we create a new mask now for the foreground. So again, select sky, invert it. So we're now dealing with this foreground here, and again intersect it with a linear gradient, just to make the transition nice and smooth. Okay, what I'll do now is then I'll increase this by at least a stop. Maybe a stop and a half actually. Yeah, a stop and a half. Just to bring it bring it back up. But look at all this lovely detail. I just close that down, zoom into these rocks. All this lovely detail in the rocks. The XH2 and the 10-24 is a lovely combination. Even though the 10-24 isn't one of Fujifilm's like recommended lenses for this camera, but it does a pretty good job. I think you'll agree. But what I want to do is bring out even more clarity in these rocks. So I will create a new mask, and just a brush this time, and just very roughly brush over these rocks here. And again, what I liked about this image when I shot it was this portion here, when we get to it, to the right was exposed. And again, it brings a little bit more interest in the photo than just having, like, you know, wispy blurred out waves, you know, or, you know, like all around the rocks. This gives it a little bit more, well, a bit of foreground interest, if you like, really. So what we'll do is bring the shadows up all the way, I think. Bring them up all the way. And again, we're going to bring in some clarity and texture. All this really is like dealing like micro contrast, really. So if I increase the clarity just a little, and then the texture, quite a lot on the texture front, which brings up more of like the finer details. And we'll have a look at that, and that's really quite nice. I like that. But what I want to do now is emphasize this question mark. This question mark here. So let's grab another brush, a little bit bigger this time, I think. Draw it round like that. And what you need is to emphasize that question mark here. And what I will do then is really sort of bring up the whites almost to the point of clipping. You could see a little bit of clipping up here then when I did that. So I don't want to go any further than that, really. So there we go. So let's bring the whites up to that. You really see it's emphasized this wave pattern around here, hasn't it? Really very, very nice indeed. And what I'm going to do now is brighten up this area down here a little. So a new mask, another brush, and just brush in this area here. Again, I'm going to bring up the shadows, raise those quite a lot, and I want to increase the saturation in this area as well. Bring out some colour in those there rocks. That's probably a bit too much, actually. Yeah, that's about right. Perhaps a little bit more. Increase the exposure, just a third of a stop. There we go. Right, I'm quite happy with that. The sky's dark. It was it was a very dark, dismal day, but not a lot of detail in the sky. But the dynamic range of the XH2 has managed to bring out some of these more detailed, nicer areas. What I'm going to do now is pop into to Photoshop and just get rid of this this little promontory or headland that's jutting into the image here. Should I get rid of it? Yes, I think I will. So edit in Adobe Photoshop. Adobe, it's not Adobe. Get rid of this with the remove tool. And just like that. Just like that. Come on, you can do it. There we are, just like that, it's gone. Tidy that up just a little bit. And that is the finished image. Did you enjoy that? Pick up any new tips maybe? It's all quite really rudimentary, straightforward stuff. I don't tend to like over edit my images. Like, you know, you see some people with like, 100 masks, all over there. all over the image. I don't tend to work that way. And if I spend longer than, say, I don't know, 10 minutes, then that tells me that the image wasn't that great to start with, to be honest. Right, I'll finesse this just a little bit more before we finish, and then pop up the finished article for you to see at the end of the video. In the meantime, we will see you tomorrow. Can't remember what I got planned for tomorrow now. Oh, see, my mind is gone. Anyway, all right then, we'll see you tomorrow.